Okay, so now we're on to the next project. This one isn't a new project. I'm going to consider this to be a revisit. We replaced our taillights on the RV with a new set. The main two lights over here, the red, are actually LED, and this light is supposed to be the backup light. We have several things that are wrong on it. Number one, a viewer nicely brought to us the point, they were a police officer, thank you very much for pointing this out, is that the brake light should be on the outside. The reverse light should be on the inside, and your braking lights are on your outside. And from what he said on that his point was that it tells you the width of your vehicle. So if a vehicle is behind you, you put on your brake lights, they can see the width of the vehicle. Makes sense. So the lights needed to be switched around. Also, what has happened is that now when we put the RV in reverse, the reverse lights do not come on. Now the reverse lights are not LED. The reverse lights are actually normal incandescent bulbs. So I don't know whether the bulbs burned out or what ended up happening. Now, one of the items also that I have from the past, the reverse lights work when you put them in reverse. They work fine. But they also come on when you put on the brake. The reverse light comes on. So I'll have red, and a white. So that's kind of odd. So I'm going to take these back off, and I'm going to use my electrical meters, and I'm going to see if I can't revisit the whole electrical layout and how these things work, and see if I can figure out what's going on. So we're getting ready to go into the fall season, which is when we do most of our camping and driving on the road. So this is one of the things I want to get fixed before I get on the road, and also the reverse light is very much a safety hazard. So yeah, let's get on it. Coffee, cold coffee, 4 o'clock coffee. Well, first things first, I gotta take these off. So here we go. I will not use an impact when you put the screws back in. You don't ever want to impact drive screws into an RV or anything of this sort. They just need to be snug, and your sealant is going to do all the sealing. So don't use an impact whenever you put those back in. I'm using an impact to take them off, and I might use it to put them part of the way back in. When I do it back in, I will use a regular screwdriver to put the screws back in. So yeah, tip of the day. It's not all about ramming them. And actually, I know it was good because whenever I took that screw out, it has caulk on it. That's good, because that showed that whenever we caulked them last time, the caulking did its job. Okay, I'm going to have to break the seal of the caulk. Okay, and okay. Looks like I might have put some butyl rubber in there whenever I did that last time also. This butyl rubber, still soft. So now I remember, yeah, and I epoxied the inside because that had gotten wet. So, yep, she's all apart. We'll look at it a little bit deeper here and see if I can figure out why those backup lights ain't coming on. So, give me a minute. All right, so I took the bulb out of the reverse light, and I've got my voltmeter here, my Fluke, and I've got it set to continuity and on verbal. And what that does is that if you have a piece of metal, here, I got a piece of metal here. It will hear that beep. That's telling me that whenever I touch this piece of metal, it completes the circuit and then sends an alarm saying all is good. Here is a good bulb that I pulled from my storage, and that good bulb is sending continuity through. This is the bad bulb, or the bulb that is not lighting up at the moment. And it's telling me it's good. That means that there is a connection between the ground negative side of this bulb through the filament and out to the positive side. So that means that once I touch them two together, it closes the circuit inside the bulb using the filament, and so it's good. So problem's not the bulb. Problem has got to do with something in the wiring. Yeah. So gotta keep digging. All right, so here's the situation. The backup light is turned on now. Go ahead and take it out of reverse. And as you notice, she took it out of reverse, and that light. Just step on the brakes, and the brakes work fine. So let me show you what I had wrong. All right, so I'm looking at the back of one of the lights when I took it off. This light over here is the backup. Yeah, and that's why it's silver, because it's got a regular bulb in it. And what I had before is I had the hot wire coming to a common connection. That common connection also went to this light and also went to this light. That makes sense of why it was whenever you hit the brakes, all three of them lit up. I have no idea what happened. And what I also noticed is that on the harness itself, the red was not connected to anything. It's the same way on the other side. So the red was not connected. So I figured, I knew that this power positive needed to go to a separate energized circuit. And I was thinking, that's probably this red wire. So I wired this red wire to this black. I disconnected it, ran it to this black over on the other side, as you saw in the first video. And when I did that, sure enough, everything worked. So literally, since we put those on, I haven't had reverse lights. So we just noticed it one day, and after about a whole whopping 10 minutes of troubleshooting, I figured out what the problem was. So I am going to get to connecting this wire to this red wire on the harness and get that connection fixed and wired up, and then I'm going to re-caulk this because the caulking on it obviously has to be redone. Here's the silicone caulk. This was kind of a putty type of putty caulking, and I'll probably use, instead of this silicone here though, I've got some RTV sealant to put these back on with. But yeah, that's all it was. So I also have butyl rubber. I may end up just putting this on and squeezing it into some butyl rubber. So got several options for waterproofing it, but we'll get her reconnected. Right there's the existing harness that was sticking out, and I'll get her all connected up. Let's get her re-waterproofed, and we'll call this one a success. All right, so I placed butyl rubber all the way around this. And then I'm going to place it on and press it in. Get her connected and screw it in. So let's get the wire and harness connected there. We'll get that harness pushed over here, so there it goes, so it fits right in there. Get a couple screws in to hold it real quick. Now I'll probably go all the way around the outside of this with caulking. Butyl rubber is not the only and not the permanent, sealant. All right. You can see that butte will squeeze out a little bit when you get it tightened down. That one came out a little bit more. There goes that and squeezing out. A little squeeze. That one's already done. All right, I'm going to clean up the butyl rubber that's around that, get this light back in, and yeah, should be ready. All right, we're going to do one final check. Push on the brake. All right, brakes came on. All right, go ahead and put it in reverse. And both reverse lights come on. Okay, take it out of reverse. Turn on the headlights. And there's the running headlights. We are good to go. All I did was mess up the wiring in the beginning. Oh, yeah, left turn signal, right turn signal. Sweet. All right. That'll be it. All right. Well, that goes to show you that we all make mistakes. And I made a mistake. We did not check the reverse when we first put these lights in. And so I had the wiring all wrong. So as you saw, we had everything. We got brakes, we got the white reverse light, and the lights come on whenever we do a turn the headlights on. And then she had left and right turn signals. So it happens, man. Happens to the best of us. So you know, don't be afraid to try things. Sometimes you get it right, sometimes you get it wrong. Nobody got hurt, and we all learned something. So hang in there, like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one. Later on, guys.